sommes en direct. Oh, j'ai oublié de faire quelque chose, mais d'accord. Ça marche, ça marche. C'est bien. Yeah, c'est bien. D'accord. Scaling, d'accord. J'ai écouté quelque chose. Résumé. Le livre. The Scaling Laws, je pense, c'est ça. J'espère que c'est le même livre. OpenAI, Tomby Brown, Benjamin Chess, Revon Child. Oh, d'accord, tous les. Ah, Dario. Amaury. Oh my god, Jeffrey Wu. Ok. Je suis curieux. D'accord. Jared Kaplan. Ok. Jared Kaplan. OpenAI. Ah, maintenant, il est en Anthropic. Chief Science Officer at Anthropic, co-founder aussi. Sam McIntosh. Ah, Anthropic. Oh my god. Okay. Co-founder, chief architect, member of technical staff. Intéressant. We study empirical scaling laws for language model performance on the cross entropy laws. The law scales as a power law with model size, data set size, and amount of compute. Je ne sais pas le nom de ce livre. D'accord. The Scaling Book. C'est quoi? The Scaling Era. Oral History. Oh, d'accord. C'est Dwarkesh Patel. Just about Scaling Era. Anthropic? Stripe. Oh, yeah. Scaling laws. J'ai vu un nouvel livre aujourd'hui et j'ai oublié le nom. J'ai oublié le nom. Le livre se réfère principalement à l'étude des lois d'échelle qui décrivent comment les performances des modèles d'IA, notamment les modèles de langage neuronal, évoluent en fonction de la taille du modèle, la quantité de données d'entraînement et la puissance de calcul utilisée. Ces lois sont généralement des lois de puissance qui montrent des relations prévisibles entre ces paramètres permettant de prédire la performance du modèle en fonction de son échelle. Contenu principal des performances mesurées par la perte de tests en arithmétique suivent une loi de puissance par rapport à la taille du modèle, la taille du dataset et le budget de calcul. On distingue quatre régimes d'échelle liés à la taille du modèle, variance limitée et résolution limitée, et deux liés à la taille des données, également variance limitée et résolution limitée. Ce doit aider à optimiser l'allocation des ressources pour l'entraînement des modèles non recommandant par exemple de privilégier des modèles très grands entraînés sur une quantité modérée de données plutôt que des modèles plus petits entraînés à convergence complète. Les aspects architecturaux comme la largeur ou la profondeur du réseau ont des effets minimes comparés aux paramètres de taille et données. Cette compréhension offre un cadre théorique pour prévoir les gains en performance en augmentant les ressources et clair comment et pourquoi ces modèles s'améliorent. Perspective plus large, ces lois d'échelle ont aussi été étudiées dans des domaines variés comme la biologie des véhicules et les entreprises par Jeffrey West notamment pour comprendre comment Les systèmes complexes développés fonctionnent à différentes échelles. En résumé, scaling laws livrent une théorie fondée sur des observations empiriques solides pour comprendre la croissance des capacités des modèles d'IA en fonction de leur taille, permettant d'améliorer efficacement la conception et entraînement des réseaux neuronaux profonds. The scaling laws. Wow, c'est quoi le book? J'ai lu cette book aujourd'hui et j'ai oublié le nom. What is the new book in AI with the name Scaling? Scaling error. Non, il y a un autre livre. Scaling Responsible AI. Oh my god, okay. Interviews from these people while the scaling era of AI is progressing. The scaling era being when AI creation is being scaled to create the remarkable large language models. Future historians will find them a treasure trove. The Excellent Internet History podcast did something like this for the birth of the commercial internet. However, there the interviews were conducted many years after the events that are discussed. The book has a lot for anyone interested in AI. The discussions on how the models work are fascinating. The effectiveness of scaling is also discussed. Okay, intéressant. Intéressant peut-être c'est ça. Peut-être. Oh my god, okay. Shripes, the scaling era. Also, excellent video interviews with top-tier research engineers in this book is a great distillation of those conversations to help people understand modern AI models, how they are built, where they are headed, and why they're important. Wow. The origins of efficiency. Boom, bubbles and end of stagnation. Très bon. Site web.
Is an interesting thing. When you think of an AI agent, it turns out the AI agents is going to exponentially increase compute usage because you now are not even bound by just one human invoking a program. It's one human invoking programs that invoke lots more programs. Right. And so that's going to create massive demand and scale for compute infrastructure. So our hyperscale business, Azure business, I think that's like other hyperscalers. I think that's a big thing.
What are the latest thoughts of Satya Nadella on AI agents? Let's see. Agent transforming work and software fundamentally, he envisions an agentic web era where AI agents lighten. Yeah, just curious. I'm really curious. Like, if AI agents is the future that someone like Satya Nadella is talking about, like, why not launch your own browser? Why are they not launching their own browser right now? Actually, they have the browser. What's happening? What's the latest with Edge? I think it's called Edge, right? Yeah, I think it's called Edge. Are they trying to make it like Perplexity Comet? Let's see. That would be interesting. Collapse of traditional business software structures by taking over business logic across multiple apps and databases, effectively centralizing intelligent automation within an AI tier rather than hard-coded rule systems. He sees AI agents particularly impacting knowledge work by automating repetitive, time-consuming tasks, allowing humans to focus on higher-level cognitive functions. Narella emphasizes AI as a collaborator rather than job replacer. Human oversight remaining vital for guiding AI outputs, integrating AI agents deeply into tools like GitHub Copilot, Microsoft 365. Okay. I thought we were able to read a bit about the book. Pre-order and print, order the book. Read sample. There's a Sherlock Holmes story that captures a relationship with large language models. A new client comes to Baker Street with a single glance. Holmes rattles off the man's life story, then that he lived in China, that he's a Freemason, that he writes a lot. The client, astonished, asks how Holmes knows all this great detail. Holmes explains the series of deductions that led him to his conclusions. The client responds, I thought at first that you had done something clever, but I see that there was nothing in it after all. Because we witnessed a series of improvements to LLM's intelligence piecemeal over years, and because we think and understand how they work, it's very easy to have the same reaction. There's nothing in them after all. That dismissiveness highlights why it's important. Wow. You want to believe that there is magic. But because there is no magic, because it's just intelligence and experience, you're like, oh, there's nothing in it after all. Muy interesante. What's important to step back and see how remarkable the progress has been and how little we understand them. Let's try to see the last 6 years of fresh new technology arrives. Call it the thing. Broadly speaking, we made it by having it read the entire internet until learn how to respond when we talk to it. Through some 15 trillion rounds of trial and error, it wound up pretty smart. We don't really know how the resulting model works. We didn't design it so much as grow it. Unlike all past software, the thing we can speak with flawless grammar on any topic in any major world language. It can write in any literary style. It can see and discuss what it sees. Actually, I'm curious. What is the most obscure language that you can talk in? Wow. Jirep, only but 5 speakers left. 82 Cameroon. Taoshiro, 1 speaker left. Peru. Lyonnais spoken by only a handful in Spain. Cabichan almost extinct. Venezuela. Fewer than 5 non-fluent speakers remain classified as effectively extinct. Taoshiro, only 1 known fluent speaker survives, making it among the rarest on Earth. Lyonnais is known by only a few people, making it exceptionally rare in Europe. Piraha. Grammatical phonological properties. Sulbo Gomero, a whistle language used for long distance communication, were rare in its form and function. Wow. Almost non-existent, and there are no standardized writing systems or learning materials for communication in them. Even basic phrases not feasible for language models or most humans. Others, like Lyonnais or Mischief, a Metis language from Canada. Linguistic resources and some documentation making very simple expressions possible, but conventional fluency remains out of reach for AI at this time. I am really curious, what if we ask to Google what happens? this one guy. Short talk on last week of Shiro. Indigenous language. Wow, 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 wow. Unique extinct possible language. Once we get, I think, population 20. Documentation was done in the mid-70s by Neftali Alicia. Amadeo Garcia. Profile 200 words was collected by Daniel Willi. Zaparuan languages. Endangered language family of Peru and Ecuador with fewer than 100 speakers. Very numerous. Before the all of the European sovereign groups have been decimated by imported diseases and warfare. Imported disease. It shares weird. It's not funny, but it's funny. Why do we call it imported? Okay. Lexical correspondences with Kandoshi. Omurano. A rememberer was found who knew some 20 words in Omurano. He claimed, wow. A rememberer was found in 2007. He classified Toshiro Omurano as Sapporo Yama languages. Verb, subject, object. Okay, interesting. Verb, subject, object. In June 2015, the sole remaining native speaker was residing in Untuto on the Tigre River in the northeastern Peruvian region of Loreto. Targeted fieldwork with him on topics such as ethnohistory, genealogy, socioculture, practices, lexicon, grammar. Database of 1500 Taoshiro words, 27 stories, and 3 songs. Wow. Wow. A rememberer was found. 20 words in Omurano. Still people who could speak it. He has otherwise switched to Urarina, another language isolate. Due to contact, once mistaken for a synonym, is a separate language. Previous proposals linking Omurano is upper in the Kabbalah will find some evidence of this. Plain, nasal, central, back, Nadzora, Nanealok. Wow. And there is thousands. One spoke his language in the Amazon. Now he's the only one. Summarize for me. Let's go. In Intutu identifies the last fluent speaker of Taoshio, indigenous Amazonian language. With his passing, and much of his culture faces extinction. It recounts a pivotal 1999 moment from Amadeo confirmed his brother Juan dying of malaria, who spoke to him in Taoshio, words no one else alive could understand, and scoring the isolation of a lone lost speaker. The article situates Amadeo's story within a broader theme of language death and cultural loss, framing it as a part of the End series, which explores how endings of lives, traditions, languages reveal how we live. Burden placed on lost speakers to preserve a language's memory, history, and identity when community transmission is already ceased. Wow. 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 What is the burden placed on Loudspeakers. It's a beautiful sentence. Emphasizes the burden placed on loudspeakers to preserve a language's memory, history, and identity when community transmission has already ceased. Sole custodian of an entire. This applies to cities. This applies to cities. This applies to brain drain in general, immigration in general, all the culture. How everybody's moving to English because that is the language in which business is being done. But that is very interesting. This also applies to every small community, where every small community has their own unique traditions. And now someone, the last member, is responsible for maintaining that tradition. Responsibility for cultural preservation. They may be the only person to transmit songs, stories, traditions, and knowledge unique to their people. Emotional isolation. Profound loneliness, knowing no one else understands the words, thoughts, or expressions that shape their life. Wow. 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 The experience of profound loneliness, knowing no one else understands the words, thoughts, or expressions that shape their life. Pressure to document and share. There is often external pressure to record what they know for future generations or linguistic research, but this can feel overwhelming. Representation of lost community. Their existence. Wow. This could be a sci-fi book. That you have this one guy, small community, suddenly something happens, he's the only one left, he knows a language with which is attached to his entire story, his entire childhood, enfance, tous les choses, finalement, finally when it's time, and finally he's like, okay, I have to now learn this new language, let's say English. And when he learns English, he's like, okay, I can use this to talk to people, but I have my memories, I have my expressions, the way I express joy, everything in my own language nobody understands. And he's not good at English yet. Wow. The existence often symbolizes the end of a culture and the many losses caused by colonization, disease, and disconnection. Wow. This was good. Comet is slowing down for me. I don't know what happened. Yes, I was curious to see Satya Nadella. What is the latest over here? Empower every person or organization on the planet to achieve more. Bounce a model forward innovation across Microsoft 365. Para Freeze project published in Science last week, including some of the behind-the-scenes story, me, my blog on the disclosure dilemma, and a conversation with confidential research effort that explored how open source AI tools could be used to bypass biosecurity checks and help create fixes now influencing global standards. What is this watch? I know that design. How the NPU is paving the way toward a more intelligent Windows. Azure AI Foundry. Should our open AI step day, the latest models are rolling out in Azure AI Foundry. GPT-5 Pro Asha Sharma. President Korea product Microsoft. Boards Home Depot. It really does do something new. It makes Excel feel less like a tool you command and more like a partner you work with. Excel Agent Mode. Data Camp. What is Vibe Working? Adjusting my cloud infra priors for the AI era. A colleague just shared the progress we're making with our AI WAN. In one project, we expanded our North American optical fiber footprint by 40% and added network capacity equal to 1/5 of our entire global network. A network that took 15 years to build now takes months.
It's we want
Build the most fungible, flexible fleet to meet the real world's needs across inference and training, as Scott Goose shared.
one of the things that we do when we add new data center capacity or AI infrastructure is making sure that we can use this infrastructure for a variety of different AI use cases. I think one of the things that's really going to differentiate AI infrastructure companies in the future is that ability to kind of maximize yield on the infrastructure. Like, how are you driving down the cost of tokens per watt per dollar? And part of what makes the Microsoft portfolio so unique is the fact that we have a lot of our own AI products, Microsoft 365 Copilot, GitHub Copilot.
Copilot podcast. Okay. Deep research, vision. Copilot podcast. Okay. Landmark study led by Microsoft scientists. AI-powered protein design could be misused in presenting first of its kind of red teaming and mitigations to strengthen biosecurity.
You click on agent mode, brackets frontier, click on open. Now you'll have full access to agent mode. And our first one will be the following. So create a discounted cash flow model from scratch for a mid-sized software company. Free cash flow start at 10 million a year. This is the growth rate. This is the discount rate. Let's go. And unlike the
Alex Banks. I had Alex Banks on my podcast. Building a better future with AI.
Copilot function that we explored last month, this agent mode actually completes tasks fully end to end. So we can open up the reasoning pane here and we can see it's planning the DCF model creation, it's laying out all the steps, so it's laying out a table structure, and it works through this activity step by step. And here we go, it's fully completed. And what I love is it actually shows you in the right-hand side chat pane here exactly what it's done, starting with the assumptions block, which is over here, all the way through things like the projection table, so from year 1 all the way to year 5, the evaluation summary, and also a little summary chart here as well. So next, why don't we add some sensitivity analysis? So I'm going to ask, can you add sensitivity analysis tables showing how the valuation changes if the discount rate varies from 8% to 10%? Alrighty, so it looks like the scenario analysis has been completed. If we click on this new tab here called scenarios, we can see what it's done. And this is absolutely brilliant because it works across different scenarios. The current enterprise value falls through from sheet number 2. The formatting's a little bit janky, but that can be cleaned up with a couple of nice headers.
Copilot. Okay. Welcome Grok 4 to Azure AI Foundry. Microsoft Excel ACES final exam. Some things never change then or now. Everything's shipped at Dev Day. Yeah, this is interesting. You cannot chat with apps in ChatGPT. Okay. Figma, Coursera. Oh, really cool.
Wow, just drag, drop, and watch the sparks fly. In this paper jungle, the young jaguar crouches low, its spotted body ready to spring. The elephant calf raises a folded trunk.
Good, strong legs. A breath, a moment that lingers. The essence of desire. Whoa!
Spend more time thinking for your hardest tasks. Codex is now GA. 3 features that make it useful for engineering teams. Codex and Slack. Oh my god. Complete. You generate short form videos. Oh my god. Startups Cursor gets cool AI. C'est quoi? Student success. Know how every student is doing and why. Real time. A bridge HQ. Jam.dev. Transform Industries. Please expect a very high rate of change from us. It reminds me of the early days of ChatGPT. We will make some good decisions and some missteps, but we will take feedback and try to fix the steps very quickly. We plan to do iteration on different approaches and Sora, but then about consistently across the products. We're learning quickly from how people are using Sora and taking feedback from users, rights holders, and other interested groups. We, of course, spent a lot of time discussing this before launch, but now that we have a product out, we can do more than just theorize. We are going to make 2 changes very soon. We'll give rights holders more granular control over generation of characters, similar to the opt-in model for likeliness, but additional controls. We are hearing from a lot of right holders who are very excited for this new kind of interactive fan fiction and think this new kind of engagement will accrue a lot of value to them. But one, the ability to specify how the characters can be used, including not at all. We assume different people will try very different approaches and will figure out what works for them, but we want to apply the same standards towards everyone and let rights holders decide how to proceed. Our aim, of course, is to make it so compelling that many people want to. There may be some edge cases of generations that get through that shouldn't, and getting our stack to work well will take some iteration. Particularly, we would like to acknowledge the remarkable creative output of Japan. We are struck by how deep the connection between users and Japanese content is. Second, we are going to have to somehow make money for video generation. People are generating much more than we expected per user, and a lot of videos are being generated for very small audiences. We're going to try sharing some of this revenue with rights holders who want their characters generated by users. The exact model will take some trial and error to figure out, but we plan to start very soon. Our hope is that the new kind of engagement is even more valuable than the revenue share, but of course we want both to be valuable.